Hello, hello. My name is Tasha Pepis. I'm a registered dietitian. I am located in Great Falls, Montana, but I serve so many people across the nation. And I'm so excited to be having this conversation with you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. I want this to be an engaging time, so please um, uh, engage with me in the chat because I want to hear where you're from, what your major health concerns are, what are you dealing with, and what did you come here for? Because I know that this isn't the first time that you hopped on a webinar, that you attended a seminar for somebody. And this is certainly not the first time that you are looking for answers and trying to figure out what can I do? What can you do to help yourself and to feel better, to get to the root cause of your health concerns, whatever the case may be. So please, in the chat, let me know what your major health concerns are, where you're from, and what you're looking for. What do you want help solving? Alicia says that she's having thyroid issues. She's from Helena. Welcome. Richard's dealing with some weight. Okay, low libido. A lot of people are dealing with a lot of low libido. So I'm so happy that you guys are here. Weight, thyroid, gut issues. Who else is here? Because maybe you're dealing with some acid reflux or bloat, stomach pain. You're just not feeling right when you eat. Me. All too common, you guys, all too common to be dealing with an abundance of different types of gastrointestinal issues. So I'm so grateful that you guys are here. This talk is definitely for you. Hormone imbalances, that's definitely popping up. Perimenopause, menopausal symptoms. Thank you guys for being here. You're going to learn so much about what you can do to get to the root cause of so many of your health concerns that you're dealing with. So thank you. Seattle, welcome. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for all the love in the chat, for letting me know what you guys are going through, what your major health concerns are, what you're sick and tired of dealing with or not getting answers with. And really what this talk is about tonight. And I first of all, just want to thank you guys so much for being here. I want you to ditch all of the tabs, the devices, really be engaged because I want you guys 110% for this conversation. You don't want to miss a second of it. And I'm not here to sell you guys anything, okay? I know that so many people are after different types of diets and supplements and protocols and whatnot to really help them to not just feel better, but to get to the root cause of why they're feeling the way that they're feeling. So many people that come to me are feeling hopeless. They're just sick and tired. They're going through the ringer when it comes to seeing different specialists. And what I really want for you guys is to walk away with knowing that there is a system and essential health pillars that are so needed for you to not just get to the root cause of your health concerns, but to actually go through the healing process of healing and repairing your body, your gut, because that's where health starts, and to be able to heal these things as naturally as possible. And so, thank you again so much. Awesome. I keep seeing you guys coming through the chat, and I just really appreciate all the engagement already. So let's go ahead and dive in. So tonight we're going to be talking about inflammation, hormones, gut health, brain fog, fatigue. Let me know in the chat. Are you guys dealing with these different things? Yes, me. Yes. I want to tell you guys that it's very common. It's not normal. It's not normal to feel this way, but it is very common. And I want you guys to know that there are definitely solutions of what you can do. And it goes far beyond any kind of supplement or any kind of power superfood or diet or way of eating. And I also want you guys to walk away with understanding that you need to figure out what works best for you. And that's something that you really have to do some deep work to figure out what's going to work best for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my slides with you guys. All right, so I just want a thumbs up in the chat. Can you guys see my presentation? Perfect. Okay. Thank you guys. Okay. So this is about stress, hormones, inflammation, gut health, brain fog, all the things. And really, this is about gaining ultimate freedom on your terms. And so, um, this is my purpose. This is my purpose to be able to really spread my message for healing for people near and wide to know that you do not have to suffer with the multitude of different health issues that you are dealing with. Whether you're here to up level your health, to really figure out how you can optimize your longevity, how you can get rid of this acid reflux, how you can actually repair and heal the body as naturally as possible, this conversation is for you. There has been multiple times throughout my life where I have felt fat, sick, and depressed, multiple times throughout my life. And in fact, many, maybe like some of you or many of you, I have been a victim of our broken healthcare system since I was 2 weeks old. Very, very young. I now have an 8 month old, and I couldn't even imagine now because that was just my life. That's what I dealt with. It just was what it was. And now that I have this infant, I couldn't even imagine what it would be like for my little baby, my 2 week old, to have eczema all over his body, or to have breathing issues and difficulty swallowing, difficulty breathing because asthma is going undiagnosed, rushing my baby to the ER all the time. I could not imagine what kind of hell that would feel like, and the anxiety and the fear that that would bring onto a new mom. And so that was what my mom had to deal with when it came to me, is constant ER visits, antibiotics, steroids, all these different things since I was 2 weeks old. And and of course, when you are taking antibiotics and steroids and all these things, is that it's really destroying your immune system and your gut microbiome. And of course, as an infant, they're starting to get that going, that gut microbiome going. And so all throughout my childhood, my teenage years, I never felt right. I never felt good. I was always clammy, had hot flashes, cravings. I was depressed, had anxiety, severe ADD since I was probably 2 years old at least. And I always also dealt with a weight problem. I just never felt good. Rashes all over my body. No one could figure these things out. And that's the thing, is that I went from specialist to specialist and nobody could figure out what was going on with me. And it was so frustrating, but I just figured that that was just my life. And it wasn't until I was 18 years old that I had went in for a routine eye exam, and my ophthalmologist, and what's funny about this is that I've always wanted to wear glasses ever since I was a little girl. And so I was hoping to go in for this eye exam and to not have 20/20 vision. And my ophthalmologist said that he found something, and he found that I had my optic nerves, both of them were inflamed. My brain was inflamed, my optic nerves were enlarged. And he said, you have something called pseudotumor cerebri. And if you don't do something different, you're at risk of going blind. That was so intense to hear at 18 years old. And that was, of course, scary as hell for my mom to hear that too. And so she did what any good parent would do, and she took me to a health clinic that was 12 hours away. She dropped me off. And this is where not only did my pseudotumor cerebri actually significantly improve or even go away, I was also on a shoebox full of medications for depression and anxiety and ADD and asthma and allergies and all these different things. And so many of those issues actually went away in this during this 3 weeks that I was at this intensive program. This intense program changed my life. It transformed my health and my life, and I made healthier choices with how I was living. And so many of these issues actually reversed. And so that's what's so incredible, is that when you're able to actually implement, do the work, is that so many of the issues that you're dealing with can actually significantly improve or even go away. And that was my story. And that's also where I met my dietitian, Michelle, who just I was completely in awe of her, because she really helped me to understand how food is medicine, how it acts as medicine with the body, and how it can really promote disease or it can promote health and wellness. And it was just the coolest thing, the science behind it. And that's why I chose to be a dietitian, because I wanted to help people the way that Michelle helped me. And I want people to know that it's not rocket science, and we can do things that are going to promote our health and our healing through optimizing different lifestyle choices and our food choices, and understanding even that there are also food choices that are really that are supposed to be really healthy that can also be causing inflammation. And so we're going to kind of go down that as well, because we need to understand that I can't give you a list of foods that are do not eat and do eat. And so many people want that. But the thing of it is that even food that could be considered clean, that's really healthy, can actually be causing inflammation for you. And so that's something that just some food for thought that I would love for you to have. And so let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. These are some lovely clients that I have had the privilege of working with, and you're going to hear some of their stories through this as well. But again, this is my purpose, and we cannot live our life's mission or our purpose or show up for the people that matter to us if we do not have our health. Our health is our wealth. And we have to really realize that of how precious our health is, because how terrible would it be to be in such pain that you can't even go to the store to buy your husband a Father's Day card. You can't even go shopping, you can't even do the simple things, or having such brain fog and fatigue that you can't even show up for your career. And you're almost needing to, you're contemplating shutting the lights out because you can't even show up for your clients or your potential clients, um, not being able to have the sex life that you want with your spouse. There's so many different reasons for how our current health picture, how that's affecting different aspects of our life. And I want you guys, as we're going through this, to really think about what areas of my life are being affected negatively because my health isn't where I want it to be. I don't feel good. I don't feel good in my body. I have zero energy. I can't roll around with my grandkids. I'm in too much pain. I want you guys to think about these things, because if we do not have our health, we need to ask ourselves, then really, what do we have? If we don't have our health, what do we have? And so this is Amy. She is a social worker, and she has had a pretty significant history of trauma. She also has a lot of different autoimmune conditions, chronic fatigue, a lot of different GI issues as well, insomnia, hypothyroid. And in just 4 months, many of her GI issues actually went away. She was losing weight. She had so much energy, was sleeping a lot better, and her headaches even improved as well. And in the course of our 6 months of working together, she was able to lower her dosages with her antidepressants, and her levothyroxine also decreased. And there's people that we've worked with where they're able to get off of their medication. They're able to reduce their dosage for these medications, because when you're giving your body what it needs, it is better supported and it's working optimally. So tonight is all about you. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. And I saw so many answers in the chat of people, what you guys are struggling with, whether it's thyroid, low libido, type 2 diabetes, hormone imbalances, hair loss. More people, thank you so much. Weight gain. Yes, absolutely. Cortisol. We're going to be talking about cortisol here in a little bit. Awesome. And so, what are we going to talk about tonight? We're going to talk about America's healthcare crisis. We need to understand, why are we here? Why are we feeling the way that we're feeling? And it's because we are living in a broken healthcare system. We also need to talk about inflammation, stress, hormones, and gut health, but really the underlying cause of why you're experiencing these symptoms and how to take action to protect your health as naturally as possible. So, I want you guys to take me up on a wonderful opportunity today. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving you guys as much information as I can in the short amount of time that we have together. And my hope is that you take me up on this wonderful opportunity for a free 15-minute discovery call. You are having the opportunity. That's why I want you guys completely engaged in this conversation, because you have the opportunity to learn more about me, my approach, because I'm very different from many people that maybe you've worked with, or programs like Weight Watchers, diets, all these different things, or if you've worked with a dietitian before, I am very different from traditional dietetics. And so this is your opportunity to learn more about me and if this approach is in alignment of what you are looking for. If that's the case, we're going to hop on a phone call and we'll talk more about what that phone call is going to look like. But I want to know what you've done in the past. What has worked? What hasn't worked? What are you looking for? I'm going to go a little bit deeper into what our approach is, and we're going to see if that's in alignment with what you're looking for, and we'll talk about our next steps, okay? And so you're definitely in the right place. This training is for you. If you're just feeling so overwhelmed and exhausted, you're not feeling as good as you know you should, you know that you've got to do things differently, but you're just not confident how. How many of you guys are sick and tired of the amount of information out there? It's very fatiguing, it's very frustrating, and even within the healthcare field as a whole, doctors and scientists do not agree with one another wholeheartedly, 100%. Dietitians, we have different areas of expertise within dietetics, and even in dietetics we do not agree. And so I can only imagine how frustrating it is when you're trying to learn what you can do for yourself, but there's such conflicting information out there. And so that's why I'm so excited that you're here, because this is really the foundation to set you up for a lifetime of success and feeling your best. You also realize that health doesn't come in the form of a bottle. How many of you are sick and tired of being on so many medications, or you know somebody who is on so many medications and you're like, I do not want that for my life. I don't want that life. You're also willing to take ownership of your health. So many of us can identify with the woman on the right who's so frustrated and just discouraged by her health care. I don't know about you, but my health insurance is not a good return on investment. A household of two healthy adults, now a little one, and our health insurance has skyrocketed. And so I also used to have TRICARE, which was great because it was free health insurance until I was 25. But with that free health insurance, was anybody getting to the root cause of my health issues and helping me to feel better and get better? Absolutely not. And one of the things that is amazing is you go in for your blood work because you're not feeling optimized. So you request your labs to be ran, all for them to be coming back within normal limits. And your doctor says, everything looks fine. I don't see what's wrong with you because the blood work is showing that everything is fine. And my personal favorite is, what do you expect? You're just getting older. Deal with the chronic pain and the menopausal symptoms and the bleeding and the migraines and yada yada. Is that acceptable to you to live a life where just because you're a certain age that you have to feel like you're falling apart? That's absolutely not acceptable. And I know probably all of you know somebody who's even older than you who are actually thriving. They're hiking, they're enjoying themselves, they're hardly on any medication, or maybe they're not on any medication. And so I want you to think of these people because you can have that life as well. Um, Not only are we, the patient, very frustrated, but our doctors and our healthcare providers are so frustrated too. They are burnt out, they're overworked, and really insurance, the pharmaceutical companies really keep them in this box of allowing them how much time can they spend with us? What kind of information can they give us? What kind of prescription medication can they prescribe to us? And so really they are being pressed as well. We don't want to wait until it's too late. We don't want to be like this gentleman who is continuing. We don't know what we don't know is what I firstly want to put out there, is that, but once we do know the information, is that will allow us to do better and to be better. And even simple changes can make a world of difference. But I want you to really think about how important it is to take action on your health, to do something different. And we can keep making excuses to stay stuck or to keep chasing after more information. But what I want you guys to really decide tonight is that it's time. It's time to really take action on your health. And we have to have a serious conversation. Is this woman, it is common to be on 5, 10, or 15 different prescription and over-the-counter medications. It's absolutely common. It's also becoming a lot more common for somebody in their 20s to be on a list of medications. And our little ones, we're starting to see the beginning stages of type 2 diabetes. As soon as 6 years old, we're starting to see the first stages of cardiovascular disease. I actually had a client whose daughter, 13 years old, had high cholesterol. High cholesterol at 13 years old. How scary is that going to be if she continues on that path? What could happen to her when she turns 20? And also, what is the life that is being stripped away from us and from our kids when we're not prioritizing our health, good nutrition, and things like that? With the amount of medication that we're on, we're certainly not getting better. We're not feeling a whole lot better. A lot of times people are feeling sicker. They're feeling about the same. I don't know how many conversations I have with people who are on thyroid medication and they don't feel that it's doing anything different. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but these are the stories that I hear time and time again. And so again, if we're giving the body what it needs so that it's actually supporting our body, our different organs and things like that, we are going to be feeling so much better. When it comes to America's healthcare crisis, it comes with an unacceptable cause and unacceptable outcomes. Over $4 trillion are spent every single year on healthcare. 90% of that is on chronic health conditions, and that's double the amount of other developed nations. 70% of all deaths are caused by the five top chronic diseases, and these are things like chronic kidney disease, type 2 diabetes, stroke, cardiovascular disease. And so many of these chronic diseases and health issues are actually very preventable and even reversible. And so I want you guys to really have so much hope that how you're feeling today is that you can actually prevent these things from happening or getting worse. You can reverse a lot of these things or significantly improve your health outcome. How exciting is that? And the US is ranked 37 out of 40 in health outcomes, which is bottom of the barrel, you guys. This is a graph depicting how much we're spending on our healthcare compared to all of these other developed nations. And yet the United States, we are the most oppressed. We're the most overworked. We're the most fatigued. And how amazing would it be if we could be like some of these other European countries where they're going on holiday all the time. They have extended maternity leave. They have this really beautiful work-life balance going for them. And for here, we are go, go, go. We're stressed, we're burnt out. And that's one of the biggest root causes when it comes to disease and being in the situation is so much has to do with how much we're go, go, go and our stress levels. There's a pill for everything, isn't there? If you are dealing with stubborn weight and belly fat, if you're having digestive issues like IBS, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, bloat, anxiety, and depression, that's something that has skyrocketed so much in the last 10 years or so. And I want you to know that there's so much hope when it comes to how you're feeling mentally and emotionally. And also insomnia, energy, issues concentrating. Adult ADD is starting to surpass childhood ADD, which is crazy. And also even chronic pain. So there's so many health issues and chronic issues that people are struggling with. This is just a small list of things, but there is a pill for every single one of these things. And really, pills just mask the symptom. They're not getting to the root cause. They're not trying to find out why are you dealing with these things, but here's a pill. We're going to mask the symptom. And oftentimes the medication that we're taking is interacting. It's blocking. I just want to throw out there with statins is that it's actually blocking our body's ability to produce CoQ10. We need CoQ10 for our brain and for our heart health. And so if we're taking something that's blocking that, that can actually be very detrimental to us. This is Karen. Before she came to see me, she was dealing with so many GI issues, and she had a pretty traumatic event happen about 6 months prior to her joining my program. And she also had fibromyalgia, chronic pain, psoriasis, high blood pressure that would range between 160 and 180. And she was on over 12 different medications. In just 2 months, she got off of 6 of those medications. Her energy was significantly increased. Her knee pain basically went away. She has grandkids that are in all these sporting events, and she was able to go up and down the bleachers with no problem. Her gastroparesis, she wasn't having any events with that, and her IBS symptoms resolved. She had a 20-pound weight loss in 2 months and 45-pound weight loss in 6 months, and her blood pressure went down to 120 over 70. So it is absolutely possible to not just lose that stubborn weight that you're dealing with, but also because like I said earlier, health starts within the gut. And once you're given the tools and resources to heal and repair the gut, you're actually able to, a lot of these issues are also being resolved as well. I want you guys to meet Nick and Nora. And so this couple, they did this program together, and that's something that's so special to me is that when families actually step up and they do this together, they support each other because this isn't about temporary relief or basically doing a diet or a program for a period of time and then going back to your old ways. This is about committing to a lifestyle that is going to work for you and that's going to be sustainable for you. And that's something that Nick and Nora chose to do together. And I want to focus on Nick because this was mostly about Nick. And so his starting weight was 320 pounds, and he hadn't seen under that weight in years and years. He also was dealing with hypothyroidism, diarrhea over 6 times a day, a lot of chronic pain, high blood pressure, low energy, no libido. And very quickly after he started the program, his bowel movements were starting to become a lot more regular. And so he wasn't going to the bathroom 6 times a day. He didn't need to have a bathroom close by. He also had a 46-pound weight loss. He was able to have energy all throughout the day. So coming home after a long day of work, he was ready to keep going and to do chores and to cook and to enjoy his wife. And so it's so amazing what happens again when you prioritize nutrition and your a healthy lifestyle. This is Cami. She had just a lot of one of her main issues was weight, and she had dealt with stubborn weight for most of her life. But one thing that we didn't talk about during her appointment with me was that she actually suffered with debilitating social anxiety, and so it was really difficult for her to even go to her son's baseball games or to be out in public because she just wanted to be in the shell. And it was so cool that after a couple of weeks of her being in the program, she was more articulate, she felt a lot more light, and I could see that, I could feel that energy from her, that really light energy coming from her. And it's so amazing to see how Cami transformed going through the program, that even though weight was still a priority, it was no longer the center stage anymore because she was feeling better, she was sleeping better, had more energy, was feeling better in her body. And that's really the point is I know so many people want to have all this weight loss, but what you don't realize is all of the wonderful benefits that also are coming because you're lowering inflammation. And so, with what I do is I practice functional medicine or functional nutrition because I'm a dietitian. I practice functional nutrition. And this is about, again, getting to the root cause of why you're experiencing your health concerns. Why are you dealing with stubborn weight? Is it hormonal? Is it because of chronic stress? Is it because of late night eating? And I also want to preface this is that there is not just one reason for why you're struggling with any kind of health concern. Is multifaceted, and that's why we have a system in place so that we are actually addressing everything at the same time. And so we want to understand too, why do you have high blood pressure, or why do you have high cholesterol? A lot of people feel that I'm just going to blame my genetics. I was told it's genetic, and so I'm going to blame my genetics. And genetics can definitely play a part for sure. But what we don't realize is that a lot of our nutrition and lifestyle choices are playing an even bigger role. And so I want that to be food for thought. We want to understand, why are you having autoimmune conditions? fibromyalgia, skin issues. And so it's really about understanding the root cause. And so we take a really in-depth um, intake and assessment so that we can understand your story and understand what it is that could be contributing to these health concerns that you're dealing with. And so when it comes to our sick care model, or what I like to call our disease management model, because we can't really call our care healthcare because it's not helping people to truly be healthy and vibrant and living their best life. And so I would rather call it sick care or disease management. And so where you want to be in the hospital if you've had a heart attack, if you have been in a car accident. For acute care purposes, that is where our traditional healthcare system thrives. But when it comes to disease and chronic symptoms, this is where they fail because it's okay, you have the symptom, here's a pill for that symptom, right? But it's not getting to the root cause of why do you have this symptom and how can we really get to the root cause of that. And so when it comes to our healthcare model, we have wrong and lacking information. We have both. And money talks. Every other commercial is a pharmaceutical commercial. And on the flip side of that, every other commercial is a food commercial, right? Pharmaceutical and a fast food commercial. And so really the system is feeding itself. It's the cyclical, this vicious cycle. And so we have to understand and follow the money. And so we can't control every single thing out there. We can't control the next virus, the common cold, sometimes, I mean, we can control our genetics to a point, but sometimes there is going to be a familial component that we're battling against. For my dad's side of the family, him included, a lot of them suffer with extreme obesity and or type 2 diabetes. And even though I'm very much more prone to gaining weight and to having type 2 diabetes, is that is not my path. I will not have type 2 diabetes because I know what I need to do in order to keep myself healthy and to make sure that I do not get type 2 diabetes. And so it's so important for you guys to be aware of what is causing inflammation for you. And we can be proactive. We can't stop aging, but we can support our body through aging and have an age more gracefully. We also can consider food as medicine to heal our body. We can address food sugar imbalances, improve our heart health, boost the immune system, minimize inflammation, balance our hormones, and I'm going to tell you how we can do that. These are my 6 health pillars, and these are so essential. These are so fundamental to setting up a great foundation when it comes to healing and repairing the body, and also addressing at the root cause, understanding why do you have this inflammation? Why do you have these health symptoms? And so this is all about embarking on a lifestyle journey. This isn't about giving you a diet protocol, a meal plan, these different things. Of course, that's part of it. But this is really about understanding what you need to thrive, understanding what your body needs because you're not like every single person. So, what you need is going to be unique to you. And so, one of the core things that we focus on is mindset. Mindset is such a beautiful thing because if we can get from being in a fixed mindset, which this is what it is, this is a part of aging. I'm just going to accept this for what it is. I'm not going to make any changes to a growth mindset, knowing that there are possibilities, knowing that you are capable of having more, of being more, and doing more. And so many things like sabotaging our efforts. Maybe we're afraid of success. Maybe we're afraid of failure. Maybe we're afraid because we've done so many things in the past and we're just so burnt out and we're hopeless. And so mindset is so important when it comes to keeping you having that momentum, keeping you on track so that you don't falter and go back to old ways and old habits. And this is set up so that you are formulating the habits that are so necessary to your success, not just for now, but for the rest of your life. We also focus on nutrition, hormones, mentorship, movement, and detox. Before we talk about those things, we need to understand, how did we get here in the first place? This is what we're talking about at the root cause. Every single day, we are being bombarded by physical, chemical, and emotional stressors every single day of our lives. And even if you don't feel like you have a lot of stress in your life, think about how, whether it's the kids or the dog or your husband or the slow driver in front of you. Think about these small things that can happen on a day-to-day basis that are called micro stressors. And so it's keeping us in that fight or flight response. Medication, excessive alcohol, smoking, if we've been involved in an accident, also with our food and water supply, is that all these things can definitely contribute to our developing chronic health symptoms. For the purpose of this slide, I want to just talk about fat storing hormones. And so both men and women have over 600 different hormones. And again, for the purpose of the slide, I want to focus on fat storing hormones. And so insulin, even if you are not pre-diabetic or diabetic, does not mean that you don't have maybe an issue with insulin resistance. Maybe stress or different types of foods or things like that are actually spiking your blood sugar, which is causing you to gain weight. And then with estrogen, both men and women can have estrogen dominance. There's a lot of hormonal disruptors in our food, water supply, our cleaning supplies, our cosmetics, all different types of things that can not just affect our estrogen, but also affect our endocrine system as a whole. And then with cortisol, that's our stress hormone. And so if you're chronically stressed, if you've had a history of traumas, that this is something that's so important to be aware of. If you have insomnia, is that there could definitely be an issue, most likely an issue with cortisol. And so when it comes to the pharmaceutical companies, they spend billions of dollars every single year to make us think about whatever condition that we have, we need a pill to take that away. And again, there's a pill for everything, and really pills are just masking the symptom. They're not helping to actually alleviate our issues. And so this is a direct quote from the Medicare manual: care that seeks to prevent disease, promote health, and prolong and enhance the quality of life is not considered medically necessary and therefore not payable. That is a direct quote from the Medicare manual. And so what they're saying is that true prevention, nutrition, lifestyle, stress management, all these different things are not medically necessary. And so even though we go in to get the lab work, the annual lab work, the prostate or the breast exams, things like that, that's really catching it when it's actually happening. And so oftentimes if your lab work shows up that you have prediabetes, oftentimes it's not going to get flagged, and your doctor isn't going to bring that up and ask you, how would you like to not be on metformin? How would you like to not ever have to be on insulin? How would you like to reverse your type 2 diabetes? We're not having these conversations. The system is not set up for us to have these conversations. Medicare, the Medicare model, the insurance model, the healthcare industry is a sinking ship, and it's not going anywhere. My question to you is, are you willing to do something different? Are you willing to get on that yacht that's going to take you to your health destination? Getting your life back, feeling optimized, having energy, being able to travel, not needing a bathroom nearby, not having bloat, being able to show up for your clients, for your employees, for your employer. This is where it's at. Being able to roll around with your kids on the floor. This is what health can give you. And knowing what your why is so important as well. When people are choosing to commit to themselves and commit to their health, you have to have a why for why you're doing it, because most of the time you're not just doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for your kids or your grandkids. You're doing it for your spouse. You're doing it for the people who love you. Maybe you don't want to end up in a wheelchair. down the road. Maybe you don't want to end up in a nursing home. And I have also had answers if you don't do something different. Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? Some people aren't sure if they're going to be around. And so it's so important to know what your why is, why you want your health, why you want to not just feel better, but to actually thrive. Because if we can age gracefully, if we can feel better as we're getting older through our golden years, then we get to live the life that we truly deserve. This is my why. I have struggled with my health. I've struggled with depression a little bit. I've struggled with staying on track throughout my life. But I continue to do it. I show up every single day. And that's what I want for you guys as well, is to show up every single day for yourself, to make really good choices for yourself out of love and out of respect for yourself. And that's something that we want to be able to work together on, is how can you show up not just paying attention to your food and your lifestyle choices and stress management, but being really clear on who and why you're doing this and why you want to embark on a lifestyle plan that is actually going to give you your life for the rest of your life. Knowing your why is also going to break you through the terror barrier. I don't know a single person that doesn't have fears, challenges, and obstacles. And even through the biggest challenges in your life, you can still show up for yourself, because that's not going to change anything. If we halt, whatever challenge we're going through, it's still going to be there. And so being able to work through those challenges while still focusing on our health and our self-care is going to be so massively important and instrumental to our healing. And there is no better time to start than now. So let's talk about my 6 health pillars. And so I already talked about mindset, but for nutrition, this is not about putting you on some weird diet. I want you guys to be able to eat as many foods as possible and to enjoy what you're doing and what you're eating. Um, what I love about the Latin word for diet actually means prescribed way of life. And so I want you to find what is giving you energy, what's helping you to sleep at night, what's helping you to lose weight and keep it off, what is actually helping you to regulate your blood sugars. And this is something that we take you through. We take you through a very comprehensive, gentle process to understand what is actually causing inflammation for you as far as food goes. We're also teaching you different ways of eating that can just be that is very, very beneficial to your health and your longevity. We also talk about detox. Our bodies beautifully, naturally detoxify itself. But when we are exposed to different medications and stress and food that's causing inflammation, you name it, sedentary lifestyles, that can be so disruptive to our gut microbiome and to our liver, our digestive organs. And so what's going to happen is that things are just more sludgy. They're not working optimally. Our mitochondria isn't very happy, which is our energy producing mechanism within our cells. And so it's so important to go through a process that's going to help. And anything that you've done or have seen when it comes to detoxes and cleanses, I want you to throw that out the window, because that's not what this is. This is helping the body to be supported, to build a really beautiful foundation so that your body can properly detoxify and get those toxins out. Movement is also so important, and we're not doing enough movement. And so instead of emphasizing exercise, I really just want to emphasize moving our bodies more, doing as much as we can so that we're not sitting on our butts all day long. If we have a desk job, what can we do to move more while we're at the desk? I have a walking pad. And so that's an idea that you can have as well. When it comes to hormones, this is something that even if you have a particular body shape, that doesn't necessarily mean that is the hormonal issue that you're struggling with. And so it's so important to do the proper testing to understand what your endocrine system is, what it looks like. So many times we're going into to get our lab work done. They run TSH and maybe a couple other thyroid markers, but it's not really giving us a good picture or indication of what is going on with our thyroid. And so you may not really have an issue with the thyroid. Maybe it's more the adrenals, but regardless, is that everything's talking together, and we need to understand what is actually going on. And that's something that unfortunately is not being ran when it comes to the healthcare system. That's why you're like, I don't feel right, but nobody is getting to the bottom of it. And that's why, is we're not doing the proper testing in the hospital setting. And so when it comes to standard ranges, like I said earlier, you go to your doctor, you get everything ran, everything comes back within normal limits, and you're not feeling optimized or well, is that the traditional healthcare system is actually looking at standard ranges. And so this is a much more wide range, and it's basically comparing the rest of us to the average unhealthy American. And so what, just for example, blood glucose is, I would prefer you to be more between 80 and 90, but people are feeling more optimized when they're between 80 and 100. And so when it comes to mentorship, this is my favorite health pillar, because this is really where we're working together, we're co-laboring together. I do not want to work with anybody that doesn't want to be helped. I want you to want to be helped. And I want you to also be a part of the decision making. And this is about you. This is about your health journey. And this is progress over perfection. And we're going to be empowering you by educating you, giving you the proper education so that you don't want to rip your hair out when it comes to figuring out what works best for you. This is about encouraging you and celebrating you, creating a very unique plan that is so individualized to you and your needs, taking into consideration your diet, your health, your lab work, and just how you're feeling emotionally, where you're at. And that's what we're going to be, that's what the plan is based off of. Another thing that's so beautiful about my program is that it's all about individualized, all-inclusive programs as well. And so this is the system. Oftentimes I'll ask people is, would the system fall apart if we didn't focus on how to get your body to properly detoxify itself? It would absolutely fall apart. If you were more focused on, I need to exercise and do high intensity interval training for an hour every single day, but I'm not going to pay attention to my nutrition, the system would fall apart. 94% of failure is due to not having a system. So again, this is not about giving you information on what supplements to buy and what supplements you need to take, or what superfoods are out there, or what diet is best over any other diet. This is about needing a system so that your body can heal and repair as naturally as possible, so that you are feeling so much more optimized, so that that gut can also heal and repair as well. And this is not about temporary results. This is about living your life on purpose for the rest of your life and really having your health. That system, my system, is going to get you onto this yacht that's going to get you to your health destination. I want you guys to think about, what is my health destination? What do I want life to look like if I were no longer suffering, or if I were no longer dealing with these health issues? What do I want my life to look like? Where do I want to go? What kind of spouse am I going to be? What kind of parent or grandparent do I get to be if I had my health and was living a life with purpose? It's time to turn our crisis into an opportunity to do something different. Tell me and I will, or excuse me, tell me and I may remember. Show me and I will remember. Involve me and I will understand. You will be involved every step of the way. I'm not going to throw the book at you, leave you to your own devices. You are going to be involved every step of the way. And it's time to wake up and stop procrastinating, because we are all as young as we're ever going to be in this very moment. What is the difference between us and this cat? You got it, Nancy. This cat has 9 lives. We have one. What are we going to do with that, with our one life? Are we going to take action and do something different? Are we going to be proactive? Are we going to choose our health, or are we going to choose sickness? This is Lynn. She was diabetic for 16 years. She had high blood pressure, weighed 234, was on 120 units of insulin as well as three other medications. She was tired. She never felt well. She had pain everywhere. And when she came to us, she was so hopeless because she had tried everything and nothing worked and nobody was giving her answers. And in just 3 months, she not only lost 70 pounds, but she lowered her A1C from 9.8 to 6.6. She discontinued her insulin. She's off of two of her other medications. She does not hurt anywhere. She said that her worst fear was that she wouldn't be able to stick with it, but once she started the program, she was enjoying it and she's reversing her type 2 diabetes. And something else that's so beautiful that she said is that she feels better in her 70s than she did when she was in her 40s. How amazing would it be to feel even younger where maybe I want to speak for myself is that when I filled out a similar questionnaire is that I felt like I was 90 on my deathbed when I was 25. And that's really where my health and my life just completely skyrocketed. But I felt like I was on my deathbed. And that's so many people feel like maybe they're 10 years older or they're 20 years older or that they're not a 90-year-old woman, a feeble woman. And so that's what is so beautiful is that you get your health and your youth back as well. If you don't take time to take care of sickness, or excuse me, if you don't take time to take care of yourself, sooner or later, you're going to have to make the time to take care of illness. Is that a life that you want? Is to have a life of illness and sickness and chronic issues and fatigue and pain? Or do you want to actually take care of yourself and do what is so necessary so that you can prevent a life of feeling this way? And if you are already there, think about what your life will look like if you had your health back. Because you absolutely can choose now to take care of yourself and your health so that this doesn't have to be your future. It's time to make a change, or we're leaving our health and our life up to chance. But what's the catch? The catch is that I cannot do the work for you. You have to be ready and willing to do the work yourself. And so, but we're going to be with you every step of the way, guiding you, cheering you on, mentoring you, educating you, and giving you everything that you need so that you are successful and feeling your best. So what's next? So I want to talk about that free 15-minute discovery call is I'm going to go ahead and put the link up right now. And I want you to click on that link and it's going to take you to my page, my booking page, where you get to select. I have the next couple of days blocked off for this particular talk. And I want you to select a time that's going to work best for you and hopefully also for your spouse if you're married. This is such an important conversation because like I said, this is about your health and this is also about your future. This isn't about putting you on a diet. This isn't short-term results. This is about your life. And I want you and your spouse there for this 15-minute conversation because I want to really understand what have you done in the past that hasn't worked? What have you done that has worked? How are you feeling? What are you going through? And how is that impacting your health, your life, your relationships? And I'm also going to be telling you how my team can help you and what our approach is to helping people get their health and their life back. If you feel that this is what you're looking for and you're ready to take action, our next step is actually booking a complete wellness evaluation. And so I want you guys to think of this as a first doctor appointment. And so because you're here, you watched this webinar, is that you get to have a discounted appointment. Typically, these appointments are $387, but because you're here, I want to discount that down to just $97. And we're going to talk more about that during the 15-minute discovery call. And so again, Our next step is a free 15-minute discovery call. And if you feel that this is what you're looking for, you're ready to go, you're ready to take action, you're ready to get your health back, then we're going to set you up for a complete wellness evaluation. My time is very precious. I have a very busy schedule, and I only want people that are really serious about moving forward to get on my schedule. And I'm going to be showing up for you 110%. I ask that you show up for me as well, because I want to help you. I want to see what it is that you need so that you get your life back, because nobody deserves to suffer or to not be living the life that you deserve so much more. And so that's what I want for you. So I'm just so excited. I already see several people have already booked. And so for those of you that are still looking, is that make sure that you put your phone number down a second time, your cell phone number, so that you get notifications that you're going to be okay. So here's my booking page. And so again, select one of the days that are following, put in your name, your email, put in your phone number twice, so that, and make sure that it's your cell phone so that you're actually getting a confirmation and also a reminder for our conversation, our free 15-minute discovery call. Well, I'm so excited to see you too, Lisa. Thank you so much for booking. All right, you guys, I'm so excited to get on these calls with you to really see what it is that you need, what you need to be successful, how you're feeling, and getting you to a place where you're actually thriving. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight. It was such a pleasure and such an honor to see you, to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for your engagement, and we are going to talk very soon. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to leave this up here for a couple more minutes, and we'll see each other in over the next couple of days. Thank you.